Hello there YouTube, what is up? This is Butler93 Pokemon bringing you my first match up against WileChase in this Machinima tournament, and it was a really close and fun match, and so I hope you guys will enjoy the match. And if you do enjoy the match, if you enjoy my battling style, and if you do enjoy my narration, feel free to check out my own channel. I'd appreciate it. And yeah, that's basically it. Let's just jump straight into the battle here now. We're both using weather teams, as you can see from the team preview. I know he's going to lead off with his Politoed, but I also know that because my Tyranitar is going to be slower, his weather effect is going to go up second. So I am just going to be able to cancel out his weather effect straight off the bat, which is good for me. So I know he's not going to be able to do much with the Skull, but I did risk the burn there, but I thought it was definitely worth the risk just to get up my set rocks, because they're fairly crucial in matches. So you always want to get up set rocks as early as you can, because they are always very beneficial to you. Unfortunately, I did not get the burn there, so it worked out well for me. So I switch out here now, not wanting to let anything else take the Scald, and I know my Ferrothorn can take it very well. And unfortunately, I do not get the burn hacks again, so that worked out really well. It was a good switch. So I know he's going to want to switch out his Politoed here, so I decide to just go for the Leech Seed on the switch, because as he goes out into his Jirachi. So I go for the Leech Seed. That's nice for me. It's always good to have residual damage up on any Pokemon. But Jirachis are naturally bulky, so it is always good to have them up, have residual damage on them. So I know he's probably going to stay in here and decide to set up his rocks. So I just go for the Thunder Wave, basically to make his Jirachi useless, because with Jirachi's abilities to Ring Grace, the secondary effects are more likely to occur. So Parahaxes and Flinches, etc., as Jirachi is famed for. So when they're paralyzed themselves, it's never good, because they risk hacking themselves to death. So I know he's going to want to switch out here to his Gliscor, or to anything. I knew he'd switch out, not necessarily to his Gliscor, so I went out to my own Gliscor. But unfortunately, my Gliscor is purely defensive with Substitute, Toxic, Protect, and Earthquake. So I decided to go for Protect just to scout out what type of a Gliscor his is, to see if it's more offensive and if it does carry the Ice Fang. And I do see here now that he does in fact carry the Ice Fang, so I'm a little afraid of that. So I decided to switch out, go into my Ferrothorn basically just to wall him, because he's going to have no moves that are going to do a whole lot to me. Even Earthquake was not going to do a whole lot, because Ferrothorn is extremely bulky, as you know. So I know he's going to stay in here, so I decided to just go for a Leech Seed as he sets up a Swords Dance. So I'm a little bit scared here now when I see the Swords Dance, but unfortunately for me, I do miss that Leech Seed, which was basically the first hacks in this match, and it was a little sad to see it going against me. But it wasn't nothing too big, because I'm able to just seed him up on the next turn. And even with the +2 from the Swords Dance, Earthquake is not even going to be a 2-hit KO after a Leech Seed and Leftover, so I'm not too worried about it. So I decided to switch out now, in case he wants to go for the Earthquake again, and I go out into my Rotom Wash. As he predicts that and decides to go for a Swords Dance again, so now he's at +4. But he can't risk staying in if I carry the Hidden Power Ice, because I'm not going to risk a Hydro Pump missing, because it would basically wreck me. So he goes for Protect, because he figures I'm Scarfed, because he didn't see Leftovers on me. So I go for the Hidden Power Ice, so he knows he's going to have to switch out here. I didn't want to risk switching out, predicting his switch, because his Gliscor wasn't at +4, and if he did predict my switch, he would have wrecked anything that came in. So I was forced to play safe and go for the Hidden Power Ice. So he's able to bring out his Politoed and get up his weather effect, and the Hidden Power Ice is going to do nothing basically. So now I have got to switch out here, because I'm locked in the Hidden Power Ice. So I go into my Tyranitar just to get up my own weather effects, as his Politoed decides to go for the Scald, I do believe. Yes, the Scald. And unfortunately for me, he does finally get the burn hacks. I'm not too worried about it, I guess, because my Tyranitar's main function is just to set up weather, but it's a little unfortunate that I do have to residual damage on my weather Pokemon, and he does not have anything on his Politoed. But whatever, we're not going to cry about it. So I switch out, go into my Ferrothorn here just to take the next Scald that I'm sure is coming. Unfortunately for me, he does get the burn hacks yet again, so that is a little unfortunate, but what can you do? That's the way things happen. So I know he's going to want to switch out here, because I could go for the Power Whip, and so I know he's going to want to switch out here, obviously. So I decided to just go for the Leech Seed on the switch. Fortunately, he brings out his Gliscor, who's not going to appreciate being seeded at all, especially by my Ferrothorn, who can wall him fairly effectively. So because he's seeded, Chase decides he's going to want to switch him out here, and Yeah, he is going to want to switch out here, obviously, because he doesn't want to stay in. So he decides to switch out now, and he goes out into his Jirachi as I switch out and go back out into my Rotom Wash. And my Rotom Wash is Scarf, so I decide to just go for the Hydro Pump, just see how much damage it's going to do to this Jirachi. And it's not going to do much at all, I do believe. It does like not even half. So it's a little unfortunate for me, but he goes for the Body Slam, and thanks be to the Lord God he does not get the Parahax, because that would have just wrecked my my Rotom and probably would have cost me the game there, to be honest, because my Rotom was able to have a good impact on this game. So I bring out my Tyranitar just to scare him off, in case scare him off with the Fire Blast, and he goes out into his Politoed, and I decide that I'm going to have to switch out here now, because I want to keep my Tyranitar just to keep switching back in to get my weather effects up. So I switch out here now and I go out into my my Latios, because if he wants to go for the Scald, it's not. If I do get burned, it's not going to really affect me, because Latios is a special attacker. So if he'd gone for the Ice Beam there, I would have got wrecked, but however he didn't. So here now I go for his Thunderbolt as he brings out his Jirachi, and it doesn't do a whole lot. It would be 2-hit KO. So here was a very important part of the match, in my opinion. Chase obviously figured that I was Choice Specs when he didn't see a Life Orb or leftovers on my Latios, but I'm actually Expert Belted, so I predicted him to switch out his Gliscor here, and I went for the Surf, and an Expert Belted Surf from my Latios is obviously going to kill off his Gliscor, and that was a really important part of the match, in my opinion, because his Gliscor walled a lot of my team, including my own Gliscor, so it was great to have him down. So he sends out his Thundurus. I don't want to take a Hidden Power Ice, so I just go out into my Ferrothorn just as Death Fodder purely. As he goes for the Hidden Power Ice, yes, and it's not going to do much really. And he is Life Orb, so that's good for me. I'm able to whittle him down with his Life Orb. And he just goes for a Thunder now just to kill me off, because the Rain is up, I do believe, and it's 100% accuracy in Rain. And that does kill me off, even though it's not very effective. And I'm able to switch out here into my Rotom. And this is where having his Gliscor dead was really handy, because now I'm purely free to just spam Thunderbolts and Volt Switches all day long. And I go for a Volt Switch as he brings out his Jirachi, and I don't kill. It is like 2 HP or some shit. So I switch out, go out into my my Gliscor, because the hope here is that I'm going to be able to set up a substitute, pray for a Parahax just so I get a free sub. Unfortunately for me, that is exactly what happens. I set up the sub and he does get the Parahax. A little unfortunate, but I don't think he had anything really to do to me, and there was no point in switching out, because I do have my own Rock Sub, so he would die anyway, so you know, it's not a big deal. So I'm able to just go for the Earthquake now, just to finish him off. Finish off his Rachi. So I get my Poison Heal and I'm back up to full HP as he sends out his Breloom, and this Breloom was the biggest threat to my team. It was the only thing really that could attempt to cost me the match. He goes for the Stab Super Effective Seed Bomb, breaks my sub. I go for an Earthquake. It doesn't really do a whole lot, you know, it's like a fucking 7-hit KO probably with Poison Heal. So I went for it to protect here, just on the off chance he carried something weird like Ice Punch. I don't know, it's kind of silly. I should have set up my own substitute here, but however I didn't do so, and bad play on me, but it ends up being okay in the end. He goes for Seed Bomb. It doesn't do anything really, because I'm max defense, max HP. I go for the Earthquake. It did not break his sub, I'm guessing because it was min damage, and I'm able to, he goes for another Seed Bomb, does a little bit more damage to me, and I'm able to just break off his sub with my own Earthquake. So he's just saying, he decides to stay in and set up another sub here, I do believe, yeah. And I'm guessing I either got max damage on this Earthquake, or I got min damage on the previous one on his sub, because this one does actually break his sub, which is good for me. I'm guessing, you know, Chase figured my Earthquake would not break his sub there. So he's going to switch out into his Rotom here. I predict that nicely and go for the substitute here. And unfortunately I get a little bit of hacks against me on my next turn as I go for the Toxic, and unfortunately my Toxic does miss. He hits me with a Hydro Pump first, sorry, I got a little bit ahead of myself. Luckily for him he did hit, and he breaks my sub. I go for a Toxic, miss, so another bit of hacks goes against me, but what goes around comes around, as they say. So I switch out here because I do not want to take another Hydro Pump. Just go into my Tyranitar just for the last time to get up my weather effects. Sorry, my computer is randomly beeping. Apologise for that. He goes for a Hydro Pump, and he missed, fortunately for me. But it's you know, it doesn't really make a difference because I am burned. So even though he's going to miss his second Hydro Pump in a row, I am going to be able to get off a crunch. But because I am burned, it's not going to do a whole lot, and Rotoms are naturally defensively bulky anyway, so it doesn't really make too much of a difference. And I'm just going to die off this turn to the burn, which does suck a little bit, but what can we do? We'll deal with it. Unfortunately, that means that he's going to have his weather effect up for the remainder of the match. So I send out in my Latios, just go for that stab Draco Meteor as he brings out his Politoed. He just brings out his Politoed as Death Fodder because he does not need it anymore, because he's able to get the Drizzle up for the last time, and I don't have my Tyranitar anymore, so it doesn't make a difference that he died. So he brings out his Bloom, and this was the game-changing point in the match. I did a quick damage calc at -2. This hidden power would have killed him from where I was at, but I forgot that the rain was up, so it was actually at a further -2. So it definitely would not have killed at that range with the rain up. But I did get a critical hit, which meant he died. So that basically won me the game. I'm not sure if I would have won the game regardless or not. We'll never know. But it definitely is the turn that won the match for me. He brought out his Thunder, so I switched out my Latios, not wanting to take the hidden power. I was just going to my Excadrill. Luckily for him, he does hit that Focus Blast, but it doesn't really matter at this stage, because I'm able to just switch out my Rotom Wash now, go for a Volt Switch, back out into my Latios, and all he has left now is his own Rotom Wash. I do believe 3 Pokemon left: my Latios, my Rotom, and something else. And he's able to just go out into his Rotom now, and I just take him out with straight out with that stab Draco Meteor. So that was a great game, WileChase. The hacks on his Breloom didn't matter, but who knows what way the match would have gone either way. For such a long match, there wasn't a whole lot of bad hacks in it, so it was a very enjoyable game. I hope you guys liked it, and wish me luck in my further matches, I guess. Thanks, guys.